What I am going to tell you happened to my father, may he rest in peace. When this happened I was very small, and at that time my family lived on the banks of the Bravo River, on Tamaulipas Street. My father used to go out drinking at night and he always came walking along the riverbank. One night he came very drunk, walking along the same edge as always. It was past midnight when suddenly my father saw a woman with a child walking along the riverbank. He felt very strange. What was a woman doing at that hour with a child? He kept walking, very surprised. The woman walked in front of him, and when my father passed right next to her he greeted her, but she did not answer. That seemed very rude to him. Then suddenly he felt something biting his hand and saw that it was the boy. When he turned to tell the woman that her son had bitten him, there was no one there. He was totally alone. In fright, my father, drunk, ran home to tell what had happened. The strangest thing that night was that my father had the mark of a bite on his hand, the mark of a child's bite. The same kid he had seen had disappeared in a few seconds. A while ago my grandmother told me a story about what happened to my dad when he was a kid. They lived in the Tamaulipas neighborhood in a wooden house that had a storage room where they kept things. One of my uncles died when he was very young, about 8 years old. He had been run over. Many of his things were taken to the storage room, his clothes and his toys. After a while, my grandmother began to hear toys playing on the roof. She could hear carts rolling and trunks being thrown against the ceiling. Many times she would stop and go check. Often she would see my dad playing and scold him, but the noises kept happening. One night my grandmother woke up to the sound of toys. Annoyed, she went to wake my dad and scold him, but he said it wasn't him. This went on for several nights. One night, hearing the toys again, my grandmother got angry and, belt in hand, went down to the storage room ready to punish my father. She realized there was no one there. The little door that gave access was padlocked. Then she went to the ceiling and began to look for the source of the noise, thinking maybe it was rats. What she saw terrified her, the spirit of my uncle playing with his carts. As my grandmother watched, the apparition faded before her eyes and she fainted. In the morning she woke up and felt very sad. She never told anyone what she had seen. She had masses said for my uncle, and in time the noises stopped. My dad was apparently the last to see him. He says that one afternoon he went down to the basement to look for some lottery tickets, and when he opened a huge trunk where they kept them, he saw my uncle inside. He seemed to be asleep. When my dad saw him, he got scared and ran. In the end, I think he managed to rest in peace, since he was never seen again.